right. I'm gonna go ahead and get this meeting started. All right, and I'd like to call on Linda Davidson to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now on to the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you so much, Linda. And Fred, I love those graphics. Those were neat. Great. So welcome to everybody today. And if you are a guest or a visitor, if you wouldn't mind putting your name in the chat so that we can properly welcome you. And I wanted to welcome you all. So this last week, I've been watching the late night shows, and they've all been coming back to Broadway and showing back up in their studios, moving away from their tiny little spaces. And so I was kind of being nostalgic about our tiny little space here. And I want to thank my wonderful husband for letting me come over here to his office every Friday and invade it so that we could be here on Zoom. So thank you very much, Daryl, for being here with me.
Blessed to have you.
And I'm excited to say this will be my last Zoom presidency meeting. And I'm hoping that you're all going to be joining us next week at the Boulder Country Club. But Fred, and I want to thank Mr. Fred Hull for going over to the country club this week to work out all the details. And I have a question for you, Fred. What did you think? Are we going to be able to do a hybrid next week, or is it not quite ready?
I think it will all work.
You think it'll all work? All right, great, great, great. So for those of you who can't come, you can still tune in with the Zoom. But if you are in town and you're feeling like you want a hug, that's where we're all going to be. So it should be a lot of fun. We're going to be listening to some music and giving out some Paul Harris fellowship pins and just lots of time to talk and catch up, and nothing can replace being in person. I'm going to be happy to have conversations with people instead of lots of emails. So I'm very excited to see you all, and hopefully you've already got your email link and you're signed up. And if you haven't, please feel free to sign up. And so next week's at the Boulder JCC, and then we're dark for 4th of July. And then, sorry, that was at the Boulder Country Club next week. And then we're going to be at the JCC on July 9th. And then we're going to have 3 weeks of Zoom before we start in person, full at the JCC. So I hope that you'll all join us for all of those times. And I'm really, really, again, looking forward to seeing you. All right, and now I'd like to call on our membership chair, Charlotte, to welcome all our visitors and guests.
Thank you, President Sally, and welcome to everyone who's joined us today. It's wonderful to have you here today. So I'm just going to call on you, and if you could say a few words about yourselves and introduce yourselves to the club, that would be wonderful. We'll start with you, Robert Sills.
Okay, I was kind of muted there. Yeah, I'm Robert Sills. I'm from the Oakwood Rotary near Dayton, Ohio. I'm here visiting my sister-in-law and my wife's uncle here in Boulder. They've been here like 20 years. I've been here many times, but never as a Rotarian before. And I just wanted to find a meeting and attend one today, so I missed my home ones. My interests are, outdoors, community service, running, biking, just being active in all kinds of ways, and just talking to people. I like all that sort of thing. And I work for the Air Force in Dayton, Ohio.
Wonderful, Robert. Thank you so much. And we're really glad to have you here today. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Charlotte Farewell.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all and nice to meet you virtually. Thank you so much for the invitation today. I am an assistant professor in the Department of Community Behavioral Health at the Colorado School of Public Health, located out at the University of Colorado and Anschutz Medical Campus. And I also direct one of our master's programs called the Population Mental Health and Wellbeing Program. I live with my husband and my dog in Evergreen, actually, so not in Boulder, just down the road. And I'm just really excited to be here and get to know you all and learn more about the Rotary Club. So thank you for the invite.
Thank you very much, Charlotte, and welcome. We're very glad to have you here today. And Jared Rice.
Hi, everybody. Jared Reese. Thank you again for allowing me to join. This is my third kind of visitation into the Boulder Rotary. I'm very excited to be here, and I've really enjoyed my experience so far. And thanks, Bill, specifically for inviting me. And I look forward to getting to know more of you and today's programming.
Thank you, Jared, and welcome back. We're glad to have you here again. I believe that is everyone, but if I have missed anybody, please unmute yourselves and feel free to introduce yourselves. Okay, I think we have everyone. So welcome again, and please enjoy the program. We're very glad to have you here today. Thank you, President Sally.
Thank you, Charlotte. Welcome to everybody. That's exciting. And then Vanessa Me just let me know that we have 60 plus RSVPs for next week so far. So it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. I hope you're going to, if you haven't RSVP'd yet, go ahead. It's going to be a plated meal. So you're actually going to be seated and people are going to bring you food. So fancy. There we are. We've gotten used to the box lunches and the takeout everywhere. This is going to be kind of upscale. So it should be a lot of fun. All right. Now I'd like to introduce Dr. Gary Kahn and Hans Wick, who are going to tell us about the awards that we're giving out today and introduce the speaker.
Thank you, Sally. Appreciate the introduction, and for Gary as well. It's my honor and privilege to talk a little bit about a project our Behavioral Wellness Committee started last year. As many of you know, we had a huge impact in terms of behavioral health with respect to the COVID pandemic. And that prompted our committee and Gary and I, who are both public health graduates, to approach the School of Public Health for the state of Colorado and look to see how we could help impact in terms of projects that graduate students could undertake in helping to address all of the behavioral health impacts that come from COVID. So through that process, we came up with some scholarship awards for some graduate students. And it's my pleasure and privilege today to introduce to you Danny Britton, who is the Associate Dean for Academics and Student Affairs at the Colorado School of Public Health, which will talk about our collaboration and also announce some of our winners. And then we'll look forward to having some of these students and their projects at future meetings. So Danny, you can take it away. And I know you've got a PowerPoint to share with us.
Thank you so much, Hans. And thank you to all the Boulder Rotary Club members and guests. This is such a wonderful opportunity for us to be here. So as Hans said, I'd like to provide some information on the Boulder Rotary Club Public Health Award, which is so exciting for us. Let me get to my slide here. Okay, just a little bit of an overview, just quickly. This award really is to encourage student focus and scholarship on innovative public health responses for addressing mental health consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic in the state of Colorado. So what's important to this, and what we spent a lot of time on this to develop, is that we want students to engage in organizational initiatives in the community and other institutions, and we also want them to have real world experiences. So those were the main two pieces of this particular award. So what I'm going to present to you just are the titles and the awardees and just what that award means in terms of the financial piece. So our first awardee, which is an honorable mention awardee, is Megan Watson, who received $100 from the Boulder Rotary Club. Megan's title of her presentation, her project is Identification of Barriers and Facilitators for Functional Neurological Disorders, Clinic Implementation. Our second awardee was a third place awardee here, sorry, Kristen Young, who was awarded $250. Title of their project, San Luis Valley Behavioral Health Group Community Needs Assessment. Our second place awardee was Jennifer Villalobos, who was awarded $250 for a project on Latinx caregiver perceptions and cultural differences of a mindfulness intervention among informal and formal caregivers. And then finally, our first place awardee is Laura Kirkbride Romeo, who was awarded $500. And the title of her project is Using Wearable Technology to Help Facilitate Positive Mental Health in Employees of the Department of Medicine at the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus. What I'm actually going to show right now is a short video that Laura created for all of you to see. So please listen carefully. She has a wonderful message to share about her project.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laura Kirkbride Romeo, and I'm a master's student at the Colorado School of Public Health in the Population Mental Health and Wellbeing concentration. And I am also the first prize recipient of the Boulder Rotary Club Public Health Award. I would like to quickly share my screen. First, I want to start off by thanking the Boulder Rotary Club for this very generous public health award. I am so happy that our work in healthcare burnout is being recognized, and we are just so happy and so thankful for this award. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Katie Morrison and Dr. Kristen Jensen for their ongoing support and mentorship in this project. Without them, I would not have been able to accomplish what I have thus far. So a little bit about myself. I grew up in a small Southern California town and eventually made my way to Staten Island for my undergrad, where I majored in biology. After graduation, I joined AmeriCorps National Civilian Community Corps and became a wildland firefighter. As much fun as that was, my interest brought me to veterinary medicine and eventually to the renal disease and hypertension department at the University of Colorado School of Medicine, where I have spent the last 6 years as a professional research assistant and specialize in basic science techniques and mouth surgery. During this time, surrounded by healthcare workers, physicians specifically, I started to notice the prevalence of physician burnout. Being a yoga teacher, I thought providing free yoga classes would help the stress level of my friends and colleagues working in medicine. I quickly found out, although appreciated, yoga was not the answer. I decided, at the encouragement of my boss, to apply to the Colorado School of Public Health and was specifically interested in their population mental health and well-being program. At about the same time as my acceptance, I started working with the Wellness Initiative in the Department of Medicine at the University Hospital, where I met Dr. Katie Morrison and Dr. Kristen Jensen. And so my journey into physician wellness started, and one of my first tasks was to create a quality improvement project using 2 wearable technologies Dr. Katie had been using herself, and also with some of her palliative care patients. Using my skills learned during my public health academic experience, and with the help of Dr. Katie, Dr. Jensen, and another like-minded doctor, Dr. Francie Palmer, I put together the HeartMath Muse Quality Improvement Project. Dr. Katie was especially excited to get this project off the ground during the COVID pandemic. As I'm sure you well know, it was an extremely stressful, and still is an extremely stressful time for healthcare workers. This project allows anyone in the Department of Medicine to check out a device for 6 weeks and use it at their leisure. Participants do receive weekly emails from me, but otherwise it's a choose your own adventure. Participants can also take a voluntary entry and exit survey, which I created using other validated surveys, but is not required for participation. I hope to use the data that I collect from these surveys to inform and optimize further iterations of this project, as well as write a manuscript, which I hope to publish. This project uses the resiliency theory as a foundation, utilizing participants' inner assets, such as self-esteem and self-efficacy, and strengthens these assets through mindfulness. The 2 devices that I'm using are the HeartMath Inner Balance and the Muse 2. Both devices use real-time biofeedback to guide the user into a more mindful state of being. The Inner Balance is worn on the earlobe, seen here, and measures heart rate variability. It then guides the user into what is called a coherence zone, or a place of mindfulness, through real-time biofeedback output, which you can watch on your phone. It also guides your breathing through visual cues. And then second, the Muse 2 is worn across the head and behind the ears and uses 7 different measurements to measure your brain waves. So instead of visual cues, the Muse uses sound to guide you into a more mindful state. If you are in a less mindful state, you will hear a peaceful storm of rain and thunder, but once you concentrate and become more mindful, the storm calms into a light rain and you hear birds singing. So that's about the gist of it. I would like to thank you again for the incredible and generous award. I'm so blessed to be able to have accomplished so much, and it's all because from the help of benefactors like the Boulder Rotary Club, my mentors, my family, the University of Colorado, and the Colorado School of Public Health. And please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or comments. I love hearing feedback and I love talking about this stuff. It is my passion. So again, thank you so much, and I hope you all have a really wonderful day.
Okay, and now Nancy Chin Wagner, you have a membership moment for us.
Yes, I do, President Sally. Today, I have the wonderful Cinda Collins Arsenal. Are you there, Cinda?
I'm here.
Wonderful. Okay, so Cinda's been a member since July of 2014, so that's 7 years. Her sponsor is Gary Kahn. So Cinda grew up a military brat, just like I guess last week, Linda Nels. And her dad was a pilot in the Air Force. Her mother was in the Marines during World War II. And they moved practically every year of her life. So 12 schools, 12 years during elementary schools. And when she moved to Colorado in 1974, she felt like it was coming home. Cinda's mother and grandparents were all born in Colorado. Her mom's dad's parents came from Germany, who grew sugarcane. And her mother's parents came from Ireland and ran a saloon in downtown Denver. Wow. So Cinda is president of Secure World Foundation, an operating foundation working for the secure and sustainable use of outer space for the benefit of humanity. She has 50 plus years of experience in nonprofit work, including peace and justice, criminal justice, mental health, disability rights, and environmental issues. And in her personal philanthropy, she focuses on bringing women's critical skills to the table for solving the difficult problems we face, with a focus on women, peace, and security. And she established our secure future, Women Make the Difference. She is the founder of Women Powering Change, an annual gathering of women working to create a better world. Thank you, Cinda. Are you ready for my questions now?
Sure, Nancy. Thanks.
Doing all that running around and everything, can you tell me, sometimes you need a little break. Where is your favorite place where you can call you a mecca for rejuvenation, and why?
Well, I happen to have just gotten back from that place that I do call my Mecca, and I was lucky enough to go there with our very own Dorothy Rupert. This is the Grand Canyon that I've been going. This is my 51st year of going at least once a year, usually twice or sometimes 5 or 6 times. But it is where I go to feel more deeply connected to myself, to my work, to the universe, to time. It just has always had that effect on me. And this time we stayed in a little homestead cabin built in 1890, Dorothy and I did, that was about a mile south of the rim, the South Rim.
Wow, that's probably really exciting and stuff. And you probably had great weather.
It was getting hot, very hot.
Getting hot. Wonderful. Okay, at the, and I don't know when the last one was, obviously before COVID, your Woman Powering Change conference. What was one topic that you feel was paramount to the women?
Well, yes, we didn't do it the last 2 years, but it started 8 years ago in my backyard and it's grown. So we bring 110 women-led organizations together across all issues: immigration, poverty, peace, international, local. So it shows the interconnectedness. They're all working to create a better world. And but the one kind of thing that ties everyone together, or it shows, is just how important and critical it is that women step up and bring their leadership skills and the unique value that they add to solving these problems we face.
That's wonderful. Was there any one particular item that everybody's real conjugating talking about?
I would say basically gender equality, and that will help solve all the other problems.
Thank you for sharing that. And my last question, how has joining the Boulder Rotary Club affect what you do in your business?
So most of the work I do with the foundations is very global, very long-term, very big picture. And you don't get that kind of immediate feedback. And so one thing that Rotary does for me is that I can do things like the journaling thing and get to know a third grader, or have conversations with teens, very philosophical discussions, and see the world through their eyes. So it brings me to the more immediate and local, and then just being able to connect with everybody else.
That's right. So you're part of the local community and the young minds.
Right.
Looking for leadership. All right. Well, I hope everybody gets a chance to get to know you here, Cinda. And thank you for being on my membership moment for Boulder.
I'll be there next Friday. Thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome. Thank you. Back to you, Sally.
Wonderful. Thank you, Cinda, for letting us get to know you better on a Zoomy personal business. And Nancy Chin Wagner, thank you so much for this past year for trying to knit us closer. And you've done a wonderful job of letting people get to know each other in this Zoom format. And thank you very, very much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Don't forget, next week, in person if you can be, Zoom if you can't be. And then Tuesday, there's the happy hour too. So there's lots of chances for hugs, which apparently if you're vaccinated is okay. So yay. All right. And Fred, can you roll the brew, please?
Hello, Rotarians and guests, and thank you for being here today. Well, June is still Rotary Fellowships Month, and judging from last week, it looks like the Travel Fellowship has lots more members.
Aw, the next baby boom has begun. We are this close to ending polio. This close.
That notes.
This close.
Time is running out on the Ted Manning Memorial Paul Harris Fellowship match. You have to get your information to Michael Weatherwax by June 20th to qualify for the match. Get yourself to be a Paul Harris Fellow or get to that next level. Rotary, doing good in the world.
The next book club is Monday, July 12th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. They will discuss the book Shame, How America's Past Sins Have Polarized Our Country. This is going to be at Anne Marie Reeder's house, so you can contact her, Sue Deans, or Darla Sheath.
Rotary, that spells Rotary. At a happy hour at the Rio, June 22nd, 5 o'clock. It's going to be awesome. Anne Marie Reeder's organized this as part of our socials committee, and we expect you to be there.
RSVP. This is amazing. Carol Griever has told us that our club has donated $3,230 to Amazon Smile to the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International. That was 5% of the total amount in that quarter. Way to go, Boulder Rotary.
It means also that we shop too much, or we've been most excellent at designating, or both.
Can't wait to see you all live and in person.
Wow, it was really cold and then an incredibly hot spring. Can't wait for summer to start. So everybody, say it with us now. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you all for being here today. And I am so looking forward to see you in person next week. I'm going to pack up my Rotary banner. Daryl's going to take it off the wall because we're bringing it with us. Go ahead, Daryl, take it off the wall.
Oh.
That has to come with us to the Boulder Country Club.
Very good.
So I will see you all there in person. Meeting adjourned.